Hey, hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so I know you were here. I'm Lynn Huber, and I appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to talk about, are limiting beliefs holding you back from achieving your goals? You know, we all have beliefs at our core that determine how we view ourselves and others, and most of us have some sort of limiting beliefs that can hold us back. Beliefs are incredibly powerful. In fact, it's our beliefs that determine how we see the world. You know, we've all heard that saying that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it, right? It is so true. It's all about how we react, because everybody has dealt with horrible situations and things that happen, right? But it's all in how you react. And our mindset is created by our beliefs, both the positive ones and the negative ones. And that determines our reality. Hi, Anitra. Good morning. Good afternoon. So, everything in life, from how we see things to how we feel about them and how we react to them, that's determined by our subconscious belief system, which is at the core of who we are. You know, every single one of us has conscious or subconscious ideas that can become limiting beliefs that stop us from achieving our goals if we let them. Sometimes these beliefs are instilled in us in childhood, and sometimes we create them ourselves. You know, I sometimes it's a silly, it can be something really silly, like something when you're a child, your mom says something to you and it wasn't even meant in the way that you took it, but that you turn that into a belief about yourself, right? Or maybe you got in trouble for something, but you know, in your mind as a child, you didn't understand and you attached a belief to it. And so, one example of a limiting belief that can get in your way of success is how you see yourself with money. So, if you believe that you'll always struggle and you'll always be poor, chances are you will. You know, you will set yourself up for failure. Your limiting belief that you're poor and that you will always be poor, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You just, because that's what you believe, so that's what you create, right? So the same can be said about anything negative in your life that limits you, whether it's career or education or personal, you know, such as being healthy or of normal weight or whatever. If you see yourself a certain way, it can be hard to change that view and to let go of that limiting belief. So, but there's 8 telling phrases that point to a limiting belief that I want to go over. And so pay attention to these, because if you find yourself saying these, you might want to dig deeper. So the first one is, it's hopeless. So anytime you use the word never is a clue that you're focusing on a limiting belief. So for example, if you say, I'll never have any money because you need money to make money. Well, that's a pretty good idea that maybe you have that limiting belief that's holding you back, right? The second one is, I'm helpless. So when most people feel uneducated or helpless, they blame their circumstances instead of working to change them. You know, saying, I can't manage my money because I don't know how, sounds insightful, but the part that's missing is the feeling of helplessness, because you obviously are feeling helpless, or you wouldn't say that, right? But all you really need to do is take a personal finance course, or buy or read and practice the lessons in Personal Finances for Dummies. You know, all of the dummies books are amazing, and they teach you a lot of what you need to know, right? YouTube is another way. So instead of saying, I can't manage my money because I don't know how, or I can't do whatever it is you want to do because I don't know how, what's really missing is, I need to learn how, right? Rather than being, I'm helpless, right? So number 3, it's useless. So the idea that nothing you do will make a difference is that you believe that any action you take won't make a difference. It doesn't matter if I work out for an hour a day, I won't lose weight anyway. Well, how do you know? Have you tried to do anything for longer than a couple of weeks? You know, when it comes to losing weight, it takes a lot more than a couple of weeks before it starts showing up, the exercise, right? Number 4, it's the universe. Sometimes a limiting belief has to do with the idea that outside forces that you can't control are at work keeping you down. You know, you can't find a job, or you can't get clients because of COVID, or the economy sucks, or where you live is depressed, or you don't have the right clothing, stuff like that. I know I have team members I have team members that are thriving during this COVID, and I have other team members that say, I can't get business because of COVID. That's a limiting belief. Believe it or not, yes, COVID causes problems, and yes, the economy sucks right now, and yes, those things cause problems, but that's not what's keeping you down. What's keeping you down is how you react to it, right? Remember I said 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it? So if you're doing nothing in your power to change it because it's destiny, because it is what it is, then that's a limiting belief, right? That having that type of thinking that everything happens for a reason can be very limiting, and it can make you feel powerless. Number 5, I'm worthless. The idea that you're not smart enough or good enough to do what you really want can be a very strong limiting belief. And it seems to affect women more than men. You feel like you're not pretty enough or smart enough or good enough to have something. And so you don't take the steps to achieve it because you don't feel like you deserve it. Anitra says, I found a book about small business for dummies that I'm going to read. Yeah, there you go. Those are great books, those dummies books. They're great books. So another one, number 6, it's genetic. While there's certainly some instances where genetics play a huge role in a person's life, I mean, this isn't really genetics, but you could be born in the slums of India, or you could be born in New York City. Obviously, the options that would be available to you would be very different depending on where you were born, right? But the truth is that almost everything that is genetic can be fixed with the right mindset and training and exercise and outlook. You're not stuck by your genetics, but if you think you are, you might not try any of the things to pull yourself out of the rut you're stuck in. Because, I grew up that way. I grew up with a family that was very working class, that had small minds. Their thoughts for me, my big dream for me was that I could grow up and be a secretary. Because in my parents' mind, if I worked in an office, that would mean I was really somebody special, right? Because they had small minds. And yeah, that held me back for a while. But then once I got out there into the world and started seeing, no, I can do more, right? I can become more. So you're not stuck with your genetics, right? But yeah, don't let yourself think that, oh, well, there's no reason to try because I was born into this. There are so many people that were born into situations that they shouldn't have been able to overcome, and they've become massively successful. Oprah is one of them. Number 7, I'll fail. The truth is, the fear of failure is something that most people have as a limiting belief. I'm a bad public speaker, so if I do it, I'll be judged, and I'll fail anyway. So why try? That's a common refrain, right? Or I don't know. I'm horrible at speaking. I don't want to do Facebook Live because people will laugh. Those are the things. We're all afraid of failure. But how can you set that belief in stone if you haven't even tried? Right? And sometimes you just have to be bad before you can be good. You just have to try, and you have to practice, and you'll get better, right? And so, yeah, failure is part of the journey. You got to get used to that idea. It is part of the journey. Number 8, I'm different. The limiting belief about being different is that different is necessarily bad. You don't want to be who you are because you're different, and you'll be looked at as different by other people. You're afraid to be who you are. Just because you don't even know who you are, or because of that, because you're afraid to be who you are, you don't even know who you are. And then you're too scared to find out due to that fear of rejection and ending up alone. And here's the thing. We're all different. That's the point, right? That's the whole point. We don't want to be the same. We should celebrate our differences. We really don't want to be exactly like everyone else, right? We're not cookie cutters. We're all different. We're all unique. So listen for these 8 key phrases. If you're hearing them, that's a pretty good indication that you have a limiting belief that might be holding you back. And so if you ever hear any of these phrases, go through your head and try to disconnect from them and turn them around to, instead of why me, instead turn it to why not me. Always ask, why not me? Anitra says being born with a vision issue can be limiting depending on the person. Sure it is. And that could also be an excuse. That could be a limiting belief. Well, people who can't see can't be successful. But you know what? You have proven that wrong, Anitra. You've proven that wrong, and you don't let your vision hold you back. I love that about you. Hi, Dawn. Good to see you. So yeah, so go through your head and think about why am I thinking this? Why are these thoughts coming into my head? And then turn it around and say, instead of saying why me, say why not me? Because the truth is, you're not feeling anything different from anyone else who has made goals and achieved them. The key is to figure out what it is that's really holding you back, making sense of that fear that's most likely not true anyway, and then doing it anyway. Don't let the fear hold you back. Just do it anyway, in spite of the fear, right? The difference is in the doing, not in the intelligence or the talent or what you're given or what you have available to you. The difference is in the doing. And the difference is how you react. Remember I said life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. And so that's the doing, right? That's you reacting, and you get to choose that. You get to choose how you're going to react. So hey, now I'd love to hear from you. So what about you? What kinds of things do you find that are holding you back? What helps you figure out what it is that's holding you back? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories. Thank you, Anitra and Dawn, for being live with me today, and anyone else who might be live who just hasn't commented, and anyone who's watching the replay. I appreciate you. So go out there and have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.